How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting, and welcome back to Knights of the Republic 2, the Sith Lords, where we're doing the Civilized Run. It's not going to feel super civilized all the time, but hey, we do our best here in this Jedi-led story, where swords are more civilized than blasters. But we're going to be going through it anyway. We've done a lot of really good progress. We've pretty much finished like upper Telos, but it also means that we're at what I consider to be the worst part of the game, which is ground Telos. We're going to be heading down there now. We'll have a bit of a cutscene. We're going to be, making our entrance, and we'll meet a really good character, a fantastic character. In fact, one of the characters I seem to have a bit of a little insider knowledge about, which we'll cover in future parts. But after that, there's going to be just a ton of like scripted battle. In fact, I would wager that most of this episode's getting cut. Like, this video might be one of the shorter ones because I'm going to be cutting out pretty much everything because there's just nothing that interesting that happens on the surface besides just combat, which is fine. It gives you experience. It lets you kind of like stretch your muscles a bit and introduce a new character. But it even gets to a point where you essentially just run down long hallways filled with enemies and then run back. It's going to be frightfully dull for a video. Just keep in mind that it's a long process, but like it actually has some pretty solid payoff towards the end. And if things go according to plan, we're going to be having a lot of dialogue in this episode because when you finish Surface Point of Telos, there's a lot of interesting, like it does a setup that gets you ready for the next like entire leg of the game. So we're going to get to that when we get to it. But otherwise, just kick back, relax, and enjoy our pleasant drive to the surface of Telos.
This is Admiral Onasi of the Republic Cruiser Sojourn.
Admiral Onasi? This is Lieutenant Gren, TSF. We've been expecting you.
Gren, it's nice to know that TSF hasn't gone to shambles in my absence.
And how about you? An Admiral. You might change your tune after you see what the situation is like down here, Karth. I've got some bad news for you.
Well, it can't be that bad, Gren. I think Telos has already been through the worst.
The one you came all the way out here to pick up? Well, she managed to escape the station. We're not exactly sure how it happened.
Well, that's unfortunate, but luckily it still fits our plans.
Am I hearing this right?
I'll tell you more when I arrive, but the Republic has decided not to detain the exile and adopt a wait-and-see approach.
The exile? Then...
Like I said, we'll talk more when I arrive.
Looks like we will. I'm uploading the approach vector to you now. See you soon, Admiral.
Everyone hold on tight. We should be putting down in a few seconds. Grab onto something. This is about to get rough real fast.
Oh, I'm in the floor. Oh, that's not good. Come on, game. We shouldn't be buried. Oh, it's a weird invisible
Good
texture
to have
thing.
you back, General.
My head feels like I've been ripped in half.
Easy now. You survived one spectacular crash. Lucky I was here to pull you and your friends out of that shuttle, or you'd be more than a little crispy. But it's only fair. I owe you more than one, General.
General?
You must be in shock from the crash. Have to expect some long-term memory loss from that. Too bad she's not a droid, huh? We can't all be that lucky. I'll humor you, General. I was one of the Iridonian Mechanic Corps that was at Malachor. Bao-dur. I can see how you'd forget me, being that I was the only one.
I think I might recall you.
Don't think too hard. I'd rather not talk about the war, if we could. We all went through some tough times after Malachor, and maybe we all did a little forgetting. Guess that's one thing we've got better than droids. They can't forget anything. But then you give them a memory wipe and they forget for good.
How are the others?
They'll be fine. The pilot's more or less unharmed, and the old lady, well, she's tougher than she looks. You know, I never thought I'd see you again, General. Galaxy's a big place, and this is the last place I thought I'd bump into you. So I have to ask, just what are you doing here?
I was told I might be able to find my ship here.
Well, if your ship's in as bad shape as this one, I don't think you're gonna have much luck.
Well, this is familiar. Feels like my last time on Telos.
Crashed the shuttle that time, too?
Nope, Pazak.
That was not the most pleasant landing I've endured. Next time we should perhaps seek out a more reputable pilot.
You're welcome, Kreia. You know, if I weren't such a crack pilot, we could have hit the shield wall or one of those rock faces.
Yes, our current situation is a vast improvement.
Oh, sarcasm queen. What shot us down?
Beats me. No one's supposed to be here but a Czerka research team. I can't say they'd be happy to see us, but shooting us down? I can't imagine Czerka having us shot down by a bunch of scientists either. You know, I caught a glimpse of what looked like an AD tower when we flew over the compound.
Why would our research station have an air defense tower?
Well, maybe they're doing something they shouldn't be. I've seen pirate bases with the same sort of setup.
Let's go. We need to find our ship.
I can help you find it. I have access to the shield network. I came hoping to repair whatever damage your shuttle took, but not even I can fix that wreck.
So what should we do?
We'll have to get back to the compound. It's the old Ithorian research station, turned into a salvage team staging area. It won't be an easy hike.
Is there a console at the compound we can use?
Czerka freights men and equipment from the landing pad there. If it's there and we can breach the perimeter, there's probably something we can use. If not, we could try our luck in the underground ruins. Either way, it's back to the compound for us.
Let's get going.
That's the plan.
We're not quite alone. Bao-durs joined the party. Possesses a special ability to rend and destroy force fields. Use their shield breaker ability in combat to disrupt enemy shields. Alright, so I have to take him with us, and that's perfectly fine. So my choice is either taking Kreia or Atton. I'm going to take Atton because I already can do a lot of force powers, which Kreia is kind of like the specialty stats. While it's great at being able to double up on force powers for sure, it honestly might be better just to have a higher DPS, and I can just use force powers as needed. Like, she does invalidate a lot of combat, but at the same time, ugh. That's tough. That's actually really tough, because that could be a strong point, but I think I'd rather cover my bases. Yes. Alright, so let's talk about what happened there after I get out of the really scary pixels, or lack of pixels. Okay, so we saw that first Karth is coming into the station to come and get us, but it turns out that the Republic's doing something a little different. Apparently they want to be a bit hands-off for us, so for now we can assume the Republic's not going to interfere too much in our business, for whatever reason. That was really cool to see. Then, of course, we saw the very interesting cutscenes of us landing. Now, the two cutscenes that took place where it showed us inside the shuttle, and talking about, like, we're coming in and then about the rough landing, those are scenes that were absolutely added by the bonus content, like whatever the patch is. I'm guessing they're just lines they found stashed in the game code, but were never, like, implemented in that scene especially. Which is fine. Like, I remember playing the game, like, it was pretty clear what had happened and didn't need those lines, but it's just nice to see that they brought them back because they were there. So that's why that looked a little jank, but that's just because, again, it's one of those things where they just kind of put together what they could with the limited, like, code they had. But then we got Bao-dur. He is interesting, and what's really interesting is the fact that I'm going to be able to, hopefully, as long as I don't screw it up, I'm going to be able to show a secret, something that most people on the internet never figure out. On the internet, it wasn't in the guidebooks, nothing. You can train Bao-dur to become a Jedi, but you have to do some very specific things in very specific ways. It's not even bonus content related. It's literally what was in the core game, but it was so well hidden that, like, unless you went out of your way to make sure things happened in a certain, like, after a certain, you know, chain of events, that you couldn't really know unless you really just understood the game and the characters, you'd never realize you'd missed the opportunity. So that's something I'm going to showcase. Okay. Well, yeah, so there's lots of stuff down here. This is going to be a lot where I'm going to be ending up cutting out, because literally it's just going to be us running from combat to combat. there's nothing really of substance that's going to be going on. So I'm going to go ahead and gonna level up, and then we're going to get into combat with some of these guys, and then we'll proceed on. But again, you're probably not going to see a whole lot of this stuff, so just, you know, we'll get to that when we get to it. So what we do, all right, so bao-dur is really interesting. So he gets, like, he's an unarmed specialist, so his damage right now is every time he gets an attack with his fist, it's 5 to 14 plus 11 to hit. And I can give him like a long sword, and the damage is the same. Vibro cutter, weaker. Like, he loses combat ability unless I give him very specific weapons. So I'm gonna keep him unarmed. It's something I never did like much when I was like playing, when I was like on my own, because I didn't realize they buffed his combat. He plays like a monk from D&D, but I never realized that, and so I never kind of set that up. But now I know that that's the case. I'm gonna make sure to kind of give him that, what do you call it? Give him that build set up in a way that makes a lot more sense. Interesting. Okay, so these gloves actually could be really good for him, because when using unarmed combat, it makes him less accurate. So it's -1 to hit, but it does 4 extra damage. Yeah, so it's +10 to hit now, but it's 9 to 18. That's actually really solid.
Sentry droid ahead. We've been spotted again.
And that means more mercenaries. I don't know about you guys, but I just can't wait.
We're close to the compound, so they'll be getting ready for us.
I think we're close to the compound, too. That means this entire place is probably on alert. So much for sneaking in.
All right, so I'm gonna talk now, because you've been gone a while. I've been just doing my own thing. There were tiny conversations we had here and there. Nothing was really worth like really focusing on. It was pretty boring. In fact, this next part's gonna also be kind of boring, but it's technically the compound, so I'm gonna go ahead and like just allow you to come through here. You can kind of see some of the combat stuff. I don't think you've been able to showcase much about bao-dur. He's got a robotic arm, and he has a special attack if he's using his fists, where if someone's got a shield, he can punch them and just turn their shields off. Very, very cool. But yeah, so we got a lot of fights to do. We got these guys up here, and the thing that makes this compound really interesting is it's a bit of a gauntlet. You see, the way they laid out the people in the camp, it's almost impossible to isolate any groups. Like, you move from one group to the next, and every time you like go to a new group or engage a new enemy, you activate other enemies in the area. So it becomes a kind of a slog, which is really good because like my healing abilities really helps out with this type of situation. So that's essentially what's going to happen. We're going to fight, we're going to go through this, we're going around the corner, and then it's going to be just a daisy chain of battles. Some of them are going to be fairly tough. So I've saved some level ups so that we can just do like a kind of a emergency healing in the middle of the situation, just in case. Otherwise, I'll level up before we go to the next phase. But yeah, let's get going, shall we? I guess I'll better activate some other shields too, just to make sure everyone's as ready as possible. All right, and I will do that.
More where that came from.
The human is here. The returns did not work. But my droids will not fail me. Destroy her, my robots. Alright, now bao-dur. See, here we go here. So he's going to, we're going to cancel that attack. See, we get a special right there. Now watch this. She's got a shield on. Boom, shield down. Beautiful. She's pretty strong too, so I'm going to go ahead and try and whirlwind her. Come on. There we go. Practically too late for use, but that's okay. Atton, really? You really had to walk through those last mines? Okay. So far so good. Now to the camp. There we go. Alright, people. Saddle up. Alright, I guess I should actually wait. That was a bit of a waste because I'm gonna wait for my force powers to come back. We'll be back in a sec. Okay, we're ready to go now. So like I said, this is gonna be rough. So buckle up.
There's the landing pad. There should be a computer terminal I can access from there. Looks like we're gonna have to fight our way there, though.
Why do you say that?
What do we have here?
Yeah.
The Jedi. Saves us the trouble of looking for you. Corran Falk did say you were dangerous. Maybe he does know what he's talking about.
He was right.
We'll see. You may have caught a few of my boys off guard, but let's see how you fight now, Jedi. Attack!
Okay, so first here, we're gonna try and whirlwind you. Bao-dur, I want you to go and punch his shields off. And you, let's focus Atton on... I need to get him a rapid shot, honestly. He'd be really good with that.
I hear you. More where that came from.
Whoa. That was cool. Got a stun on him somehow. Don't even know how I did that.
This won't take long.
And see, there we go. See, no hope in trying to break this up into smaller fights. It's just, you just sprint. You sprint through it all. Oh my gosh, you idiot. It is amazing that we actually can get through this because holy crap, did we not deserve this.
More where that came from. Time to take you down to size. More where that came from.
Okay, crap. Atton, go. Don't die. Darn it. So you didn't get back up again. I wish I had a way of, like, boosting my force powers. And Bao-dur's down now.
More where that came from.
There you go. Atton DPS saving the day. God, so scrappy. God, such a rough fight. Alright, Atton, let's go rescue Bao-dur. And then there's goes out there too. If we weren't in combat, Bao-dur would have got up by now. Such a nightmare. This is a prime example why Telos sucks. It's just kind of a BS
Time
like
to even
fight.
the odds.
I mean, maybe it's meant to just be a challenge in that way, but like at the same time, it's just kind of gross. Alright, it won't be too much because I can heal him up. Let's just finish off Czerka, then we'll clean up and level up.
Let's settle this.
Yeah, down they go. Alright, I think we're officially done. Let's loot, and then we'll go to the computer and see if we can get off this place. Ooh, plasma grenades. Those are nice and spicy.
Hopefully I'll be able to access the shield network from this console.
Let's see what he does. Do your magic.
Good, it's functional, and my passcodes still work. Now let's find your ship.
The TSF said the Ebon Hawk wasn't at any sanctioned landing site. What do you think what makes you think you can find it?
The TSF probably thinks the ship was put down in the wastes, but they don't know the planet as well as I do. Telos' atmosphere has been turned into acidic vapor. Landing a ship in the wastes would be like sealing it in a hangar full of hungry Minocs.
I'd say there's probably an illegal landing site somewhere then.
So that means there's probably an unsanctioned landing site somewhere on the planet. Still shielded, but not a restoration zone or other listed facility. That's why I need access to the shield network.
Mm-hmm. So he's like, gotta look for an anomaly.
Here, a small anomaly in the shield network's power grid. I'm not surprised the TSF didn't spot this. It's subtle, more like an error or random flux than anything suspicious.
What is it?
It looks like power is being drawn to generate a shield over a small area in the polar region, but nothing should be down there. Orbital cameras show nothing, just an empty mesa.
How are we gonna get to the polar region?
That's a little tougher. According to the computer, a shuttle is currently docked inside the research facility. At least there was at last report, though that was months ago.
So we don't know if the shuttle will still be there or working.
I don't, but that's not going to stop me. I'm getting back to Citadel if I have to build a new ship myself.
That's decided then. We should get going.
There's one other small problem. Recently, Czerka teams that were sent into the military facility have not been coming out. But it's not as though we have any choice.
Let's go. Alright, so we now have a location, a place that's like just kind of leeching off of the shield grids that are protecting sections of the planet that they're trying to restore. Because outside the shield zones, it's pretty much like the surface of Venus on steroids, so that's going to be exciting. And so we have a location, we just have to get there. So we got to go to the underground. Now, unfortunately, if you thought this was a slog, it's even worse down below. It's going to just be a really long, like, repeating chambers of combat rooms. It's going to be rough, but it's okay. We will make do. So I'm gonna level up real quick and then we'll jump into the basement, or the underground area. All right, first power is required, like attack side. Yeah, we already know that. Oh, okay. So at this level, I'm so advanced as the Jedi, I've literally learned one of the basic lightsaber forms. I don't even have a lightsaber, but I can now use Determination Shicho lightsaber form. I can't remember what number this one is. I think it might be 4, but they're actually like accounted for like battle forms. Like, I don't know if they originated in the expanded universe or not, but they have become essentially canonized. So it is cool to learn. And as it showed with the picture, showed like the arrows pointing with the sword. Shicho, I believe, was designed for combat versus non-lightsaber wielders. So what it'll do is it'll give you bonuses. I'll be able to show you in a second, but it should give you bonuses to deflection, but negatives to fighting against melee weapons, specifically other lightsaber wielders. All right, buckle up. I'm literally going to skip most of this because it's just going to be... It's a slog. It's pretty much room droids, room droids, room droids, room droids, room droids. Turn on a button, back the way you came, really big droid, which I'll probably show you for, and then we get to leave. So it's oh, I also forgot. lots of hidden poison vents. So I'm gonna go and slap this on real quick. See? But by triggering it, now my companions won't get poisoned, as long as they're not too close behind me.
This arm of mine isn't just for show, General. Stand back.
Yep, and...
The Czerka mercenaries were a little surprised when I broke my way out of my holding cell. The shields there were even weaker than these. After you.
Bao-dur has the ability to break through various shields with his repulsor fist. What's actually funny is that this is one of those like bonus powers that, like I said before, one of the saddest things about how rushed this game was is that they gave every single companion like bonus powers, bonus abilities, like, and it's not just like combat-wise, but they also tend to be in conversations or facing certain challenges. The other things they sometimes can do is they just can provide you with like useful stuff, like I can get parts from the T3 droid, there's somebody else who can give me computer spikes, and there's somebody else who can do battle stims. But Bao-dur's is probably the most useful because it's critical for this section, but there are future times where literally like energy shields are a problem, and he might not be the most optimal person to bring, but if you do, it gives you access to some really like easy things. Like he saves you from having to spend a lot of like parts or computer spikes or like having to have pass really hard like computer checks because he can just literally like punch those shields down. Yeah, so in case I didn't see, so Shicho lightsaber form, I click it and it tells you what it does. So it gives you bonuses against many opponents. So I guess it's not specifically about reflecting blasters. I think there is one that is about reflecting blasters, so I guess this one's just about like keeping your defenses up and being able to adapt really easily. But yeah, so let's activate some shields again.
I hear you.
Take them down.
There we go.
There she is, one orbital shuttle. Looks like it's in serviceable condition. That's all a moot point, though.
Why is that?
The hangar bay doors are closed. I don't fancy flying the shuttle through solid metal, so I'd say we need to find a way to get them open. We'll also need to find the ignition codes for the shuttle, or else we'll have some trouble getting off the ground. If we get all that, I wouldn't worry about what shape this heap is in. I'll get it running.
Sweet. Droid's been deactivated. These doors will become a thing in the future. It'll stay impossible, but that's because it's going to be opening up eventually. And it's going to be the big surprise. Oh, we can't leave. Step away from the shuttle. I wasn't trying to get on the shuttle. I was trying to come over here, going around the shuttle. Gosh darn it, guys. Bay control. Unlock the hangar doors. Cannot unlock. Oh yeah, they need power. Silly, silly me. Alright, so this is interesting. So I click this. Military grade security door cannot be opened from here. May be controlled by a nearby terminal. And you can see on the mini map. Well, I guess you can't see it on me, but for high me, maybe hopefully I'll remember to turn myself off for a second. You can see the hallway extends behind here. And the thing is, like, you can't open this door. It's cut content. These underground passages were supposed to be a lot more interesting and dynamic, but they kind of had to shortcut it. I do believe we do see something from this later down the line, but for now, just understand that like this map here is just like boom, 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 and then we're gonna go down this way, and then we're gonna go back. That's it. Like it's just straight lines, pretty much. At last, someone else. Are you part of the rescue team? Who are you? I'm part of the first Czerka salvage team. I hid here when the turrets and droids went online. I haven't been able to reach anyone. You're here to get us out of here, right? Follow me out. I will, thank you. Unfortunately, you are probably gonna die. I struggle to get this guy out alive because he refuses to like go wait for us somewhere. So he just dies. And I can't heal him because he's not counted as an ally, he's counted as a neutral party. And he does that, where he runs right in front of everybody. Bao-dur, please, can you... Thank you. Why does he refuse to hide? He just runs in front of everybody. Okay. Kill these droids, and you see here, terminal. And then this one terminal. I guess I'm gonna see if Bao-dur can do something here. Overload the droid recharging stations. God, that was loud. Holy crap, I don't know if that communicated through the screen that well, but yeah. So it's interesting because those droids can be activated to hurt you, but if you can manage to do that, piece of cake. You just open the door, you get all the experience, and you get to have the loot too. Oh, right, I have to open the door later, I think. Oh, hello. What the fetch are you?
This droid has been damaged and does not appear to be functional.
This is definitely new. Reactivate, program to follow you. Oh no, it's not new. I do remember seeing this. But yeah, so we got an HK droid here. Real cool, right? Now here's something else that's interesting. This door here. Oh. He just explodes. But this door here. Magnetic shield can't be opened this time. But if you look on the map here, so another map thing, it's purple, meaning it's a load zone. That's another thing that's really interesting. This is definitely old content. And that's this part that in particular I think we do go back for eventually. But yeah, really interesting that we find an HK droid here in the middle of this facility, right? Dead planet. Little suspect. Might become relevant later. It's not quite the worst we have to face yet, but we're getting there. Start the reactor. Opens that door. Opens the big doors. There's our little friendly welcome package. That's gonna be fun. And we're gonna turn this off. Oh, I thought this guy woke up and attacked us. These droids certainly did though. Now that we're in this room, I can pick up all these remains from all the droids that we just instant killed before we even came through here. And a nice little secret door. Really hard security check right there. Interesting how I can just open it with one level in that skill. Datapad. This datapad contains the ignition codes for the orbital shuttle and the underground hangar. So we had to come in here for that. So now we got the codes. We have power to open up the hatch. Now we just gotta survive actually getting into the hangar. This is going to be a bit of a fight. All right, here we go, boys. Buckle up. It's gonna be rough. This thing is huge, it's strong, and it has a lot of grenades. I think we can do it. I'm gonna spam stuns on it. It won't be able to stun it, but it like makes it pause. Oh my gosh, those grenades. Crap on a cracker. I wasn't paying attention. Why am I stunned? I'm broken. I can't do anything. Crap.
Just say the word.
All right, we're reloading because that was bad. It literally broke. My character wasn't doing anything. I let bao-dur die. Oh, it's a nightmare. Let's try this again. And I want you to throw an ion grenade at this thing.
Let's go. You asked for it. Let me handle this. Take him down.
Oh, hang on. Whew. That was close. Almost missed it again. Stop stunning me.
Everyone down!
Let's go.
Tank droid sucks.
Take him down.
Come on. Oh, come on, we're so close. Stop saving!
Time to even the odds.
There we go. There we go. That was a nightmare. That was like the first real boss we've had this whole game. Like the first time that's really given me a challenge. And it wasn't even a challenge. I kind of had to cheese the stupid thing. Take the shielded region. Now here comes the next super hard part. Because this is... You thought that was hard. This is worse. But if I can survive this next part, we're essentially done with combat and we're back to the interesting stuff. God, you've probably seen like a 20-minute video. It's been an hour and 20 minutes for me. It's just so unnecessarily long.
Statement. We have arrived too late. The target has evaded us. We must pursue it. Observation. They have likely escaped aboard the orbital shuttle that has been docked here. The bay control computer likely will have a record of their departure. Query. Have you discovered anything about the shuttle's course? Answer. I have managed to track the shuttle's movement across the shield network. However, the shield network does not stretch over the polar region, which was the shuttle's apparent destination. Statement. Dispatch a unit to the polar region with the last known coordinates and approximate path of the shuttle. They will not escape us again.
Well, this can't be any worse than last time. So that's the hole in the shield network, huh? Doesn't look like much to me. You've got to be kidding me. It's not my fault.
If it hasn't been abundantly clear, these shuttles are cursed. We should just never go in them again. We just die every time. We just die. We just crash and die every time. But yeah, so the HKs are after us again.
Praise. An excellent shot, even with the prevailing winds. I couldn't have done it better myself. Field assessment. I've picked up on the heat forms of the Jedi and their allies. Activate the mines and prime the self-destruct sequences.
Yeah, oh boy. This is gonna be rough.
Relieved statement. Oh, Jedi, it is good to see you intact. We were concerned that shooting down your shuttle would damage you irreparably. Quick clarification.
Oh, boy.
But now that we have found you, we hope that we can facilitate communications. Unnecessary addendum. And put an end to hostilities.
What are you assassin droids doing here?
Self-evident answer. Wherever you try to run, we will be there, armed and ready. Rhetorical query. So the query you have posed to us is one we put to you. What are you doing here, we wonder?
How many of you are there?
Chiding statement. Oh, Jedi. There are as many of us as are needed to capture or kill our targets. Egotistical boast. And there are far more of us than any one Jedi. Destroy one of us, and more shall rise from the wreckage. Unnecessary threat. And our attack protocols are more than a match for you and your allies.
So yeah, you think HK was bad, HK-47. I mean, he was awesome and he was terrifying. But now, a bunch of his clones, later models apparently, they're just gonna come after us and they're never gonna stop. It's just consistently gonna come after us. Any reason you shot down my vessel?
Unnecessary clarification. We merely wish to cripple your vessel. Once we tracked your coordinates, we were able to deploy several droids in this location. Probing query. We are, however, curious as to why you chose to come to the remnants of the polar Telos irrigation system. There is nothing here that our instruments can detect. Eager threat. But we are looking forward to extracting your motives for coming here when we place you in torture restraints.
They're so bloodthirsty. Destroying one of you was easy. Wiping out 3 of you might cause me to break a sweat. Alright, so we need to try and get ourselves kitted out. Is this the upgraded vibro sword? No, I think it is. Okay, that's good. Then what we do need is... Okay.
Yes.
Say the word.
Ratio achieved.
Oh my gosh, that killed Kreia. Okay, I need to bring her up.
Focus.
Now, level her up, because she just walked and took all those mines straight to the face. Powers. Okay, what would she benefit from right now? She's got pretty much everything I think she'd really need at the minute, so let's give her Revivify so she can also pick people up from unconsciousness. Ah, got you now, droids! You fools! You think you can just stop us when we can disable droids forever? Aha! Sucks to be you!
Systems failing, Master. Systems failing, Master.
Aha! I win!
Systems failing, Master.
Whew! Okay, you know what, that wasn't as bad. HK control cluster, very good. All right, so we managed to survive, we managed to make it, we've landed, we killed them, thank goodness. I think a big reason, normally that fight's really tough because like you don't get to stun them very well, kind of like the tank droid. I think the tank droid might have been impossible to stun, but these guys are tough to stun. But again, it's one of the benefits of having my wisdom be so high, it makes it a lot more likely they'll fail checks, which really worked in our favor here. Bao-dur looks like he was knocked unconscious by the explosion. If you can find refuge, he should recover in time. There's only one place to go. Oh, I guess I should save, because I don't want to have to do that again. Yes, it is now time for us to go into the secret underneath these... I think they called it a, like, water treatment facility or something. Hello. Now for the interesting stuff.
Lay down your weapons, and you shall not be harmed.
Who are you?
I will not warn you again. Drop your weapons, or we shall take them from you.
Do as they say. I sense people come to no harm.
Very well. I did not come here to do battle.
Why is it that everywhere we go, I end up in a cell? I mean, why did they lock us up? What is this place?
It is a training ground for Jedi.
What? This ice hole?
Yes, it bears the semblance of an academy. But where are all the students? Curious.
You've got to be joking. What is a Jedi Academy doing out here in the middle of nowhere?
It is a place hidden from the galaxy like the Academy on Dantooine. But this place... Oh, Atris, you have been clever.
Atris?
It's none of your concern.
Well, the sooner we're out of here, the better. 2 crazy Jedi are more than enough for me. No one told me we were going to be dumped in a nest of Jedi.
And what is it about this place that causes you such fear?
What do you mean? We're in the middle of a bunch of Jedi. You know how they are.
No, I do not. Not in the way you seem to.
What?
Really interesting here.
What are you doing? Get out of my head!
Stop struggling. Let me follow the current. Deep, deeper to its source.
Stop! Stop! Ah!
Ah, with the fear is mingled guilt. It squirms in you like a worm. And the why? Ah, and there is its heart. You surprise me. I could not feel it before. Your feelings are a powerful shield indeed. Do not worry, Atton. If she is a Jedi, she will forgive. And if she is not, she will not care.
You can't tell her. Please. I'm asking you. I don't want her to...
Think less of you. I hardly think that's possible. Still, there is no shame in what you ask.
Ooh, dirty
We all
secrets.
wage
Secrets and
war with
lies.
the past, and it leaves its scars. I will not speak of yours, Atton, but there is a price for such things.
What? What price?
There are those who wage war and those who follow them. You are a crude thing, murderer, but you have your uses. You know how important this woman we travel with is. Even one such as you can feel it. You will serve her until I release you.
And if I refuse?
You will not. If you do, then my silence will be broken. And then, Atton, you will be broken. You fear the Jedi, and rightly so. If Atris learns of your choices, you will never leave this place. But whatever fear you hold of the Jedi, know that if you disobey me, that my punishment will make you beg for the death that has long hounded you. Wipe the fear from your mind. You will not find blind obedience a difficult master. You chose it once. You will learn to embrace it again.
I don't know how you became such a manipulative witch, but why a vicious old scowl like yourself would even bother with me is a bigger mystery.
No game of Dejarik can be won without pawns, and this may prove to be a very long game. You are a slippery one. Your thoughts difficult for even one such as I to read. I suspect the self-loathing that squirms within you gives you a curious strength. Your spirit, as diseased as it is, refuses to allow you to give up, no matter what threats you face and whatever wreckage you leave behind you. I feel you have crossed our path for a reason. Perhaps even you, at the right moment, may be able to turn aside disaster. If so, your potential is not yet spent.
Fine. I'll be your pawn. But I still think you've got the wrong man.
Perhaps. But someone has to fly the ship, and the Force is a hard thing to predict. You have crossed our path for a reason. Our path brought us here for a reason. And now I know why. The past is here, and it must be met before the future can be set in motion.
More Jedi speak. Care to explain?
No. I've wasted enough time with you. Sleep, murderer, and be silent. I need no distractions. a critical moment approaches.
That's why I love Kreia as a character. Look at all of that just happened. How insane that entire dialogue was, what she just did, how she's really pulling the strings. She feels like she's just kind of passively in the background, but you can see as soon as we're not around, she just starts yanking and pulling on threads. She's so well written. She's so well done. It stinks because this game doesn't get the credit for how good it really was. And just, she's so much more
I did not
than she
expect to
appears.
see you again
Sorry.
after the day of your sentencing. I thought you had taken the exile's path, wandering the galaxy. Yet you have returned. Why?
I see. Tell me what you've done with my friends first.
Your concern is noted. Your friends have not been harmed. They have been detained for their safety. I find it unusual that you are traveling with others again. I had thought you had forsaken the company of others after the war. Or is that why you are here?
It was not my intention to come here, Atris, or to see you again.
Yet here you are. Perhaps you do not know yourself as well as you think. Regardless, your arrival here begs an explanation. Have you come to face the judgment of the Council, as you did so many years ago? Are you finally willing to admit that we were right to cast you out?
The Force brought me here.
You presume much. The Force does not guide your movements, not anymore. Its connection was lost when you fell. Perhaps you feel that the Force also led you to the Mandalorian Wars as well, but in truth it only led to your exile.
Let's see. I could not stand by and allow the innocents to die on the Outer Rim.
So you said, so long ago. I didn't believe it then, and I don't believe it now. You sought adventure. You hungered for battle. You could not wait to follow Revan to war. The Jedi Order asked only for time to examine the Mandalorian threat. They urged caution, patience, and you defied them. So when you returned, you were brought before us. You were a Jedi no longer, and so you were exiled.
My punishment could have been worse. For that I am grateful.
There was much about that day that was difficult to forget. Your words, your defiance, and when you stabbed your lightsaber into the center stone. I have kept it, so I would never forget.
That's our lightsaber. That's my lightsaber.
Indeed. A lightsaber is the mark of a Jedi. When you turned your back on the Order, it was not yours anymore.
Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?
As a reminder of what can happen when your passions dictate your actions. I have kept it, so I would never forget your arrogance or your insult to the Order.
If I became a Jedi again, would you return it to me?
Become a Jedi again? That is a thing far out of reach. But I am not unsympathetic to your feelings. Leaving the Order must have been difficult for you. Yet you gave the Council no other choice. You gave me no other choice.
I went to war to protect others, not for battle.
So your choice was to meet the aggression of the Mandalorians with more aggression. That is not the Jedi way.
The Mandalorians were butchering innocent worlds I had sworn to protect.
Every choice we make, whether we know it or not, sends echoes through the Force. It can awaken feelings, ignite passions, hate, anger, fear, where none existed before. By meeting aggression, by serving as an opponent against which the Mandalorians could test themselves, you fed their hate, their lust for war, and it sent a terrible echo through you. And because of it, you and those Jedi who met them on the battlefield lost their way, and you turned on us.
I would make the same choice again.
Then you would die a second death. Such is the price of action without reflection. It is what we were taught as Jedi.
Tell that to the millions who died in the war. Lives we could have saved if the Jedi had acted earlier.
There was no guarantee that marching to war would have saved the Outer Rim. In fact, quite the opposite.
If we had not fought, the Republic would have fallen. That is a fact.
A physical victory perhaps, but the real victory lay in...
The triumph of pacifism? Surrender?
Do not twist my words. A physical victory is not the only victory, or the only loss.
And how many people would have died if the Mandalorians hadn't been stopped?
You do not know.
If the Mandalorians had won, would the Jedi have fought them then, or simply meditated on what to do?
How dare you? The Mandalorian Wars should have been your grave, and Malachor 5 is where you should have died.
I did nothing to you, yet you hate me. I can feel it. Why?
You see shadows where there are none, and hate where there is none. You are blind, as always. I tire of fighting with you. You lust for war, and you always will, and you have succeeded in distracting me from my questions. So answer me. If you cannot seem to admit the Council was correct, then why are you here?
I'm here I'm looking for my ship so I can leave Telos.
Your ship? Ah, the Ebon Hawk. It is not your ship. Unless you are admitting to the destruction of the Paragus mining facility.
The destruction of the Paragus mine facility was an accident. Yeah, let's see. Are you admitting to stealing the Ebon Hawk? But
Ah, an accident. Something beyond your control. You have not changed. Acting instead of thinking, putting yourself before the galaxy.
To be fair, we didn't choose that. We were thrust into that situation. I know it put Telos in jeopardy, but I had no choice.
No, your crime is much more than that. Without the fuel from Paragus, Citadel Station cannot maintain its orbit. It will crash into the planet, and its destruction will echo across 20 other worlds.
Why is Telos so important?
Telos was a test to see if the Republic could mount a restoration effort on the Outer Rim. When it fails, the Republic will not finance another. The other Rim worlds, devastated by the Sith, will remain graveyard worlds, devoid of life. And that is the magnitude of your crime.
You know me, and know I wouldn't have intentionally committed such an act.
I have not known you since you left to serve Revan in the Mandalorian Wars. The only question that remains is how far you have fallen. How is it that you are not content to confine your ruin to yourself? You must spread it to others wherever you go. Ruin yourself with your actions if you will, but when your actions bring harm to others, then you must answer for it.
So, now I get blamed for the actions of the Sith?
The Sith? What do you mean?
The Sith have returned. They're hunting all the Jedi.
You speak truly. You have encountered the Sith. I can feel the scars on you. Tell me, where did you encounter them?
The Sith came for me on Paragus to kill me.
Paragus? What would they want there? They can't have been looking for you.
The Sith believed me to be the last Jedi.
You? If they thought you a Jedi, the teachings of the Sith blind them indeed. I am the last Jedi, not you. You betrayed our teachings, our beliefs, the very core of the Jedi Order. If these Sith attacked you, they will soon realize their mistake. And if you escaped, they most likely let you go to see if you would lead them here.
Were there any other survivors of the Jedi Civil War?
I said I was the last of the Jedi, Exile, and I did not speak falsely. There are others who were once Jedi, but no longer. They will not take action against this threat.
If so, then I offer you my help. You'll need it.
You offer your aid? After turning your back on me? On the Council? The Jedi is not something you embrace out of fear. The commitment is stronger than that, something you never seem to understand.
By the way, I'm guiding this conversation because of like what I know about the game, what I know about the character, and the way I want to have her play things out. So like, I'm not just randomly picking things. I already have a narrative for Joan of Arc Light, and this is kind of like a path of this conversation I wanted to go down. Let's see. But I have always understood war, and that's what you need.
Perhaps. But if you help me, it cannot be done from here. There are others in the galaxy who may help us against a Sith threat. If you can find them, gain their trust, perhaps our defenses shall be stronger for it. Take your ship, seek them out. If you find them, encourage them to gather on Dantooine. From there we can call a council and see what can be done.
If there's anyone who can aid us, I will find them.
Then I shall send you on your way. It is now time for you to depart.
We shall remove her, mistress.
Yeah, good times.
Come with us.
She's one of the best characters, but unfortunately we're not going to get to know her because you have to be male.
All right, mistress?
The exile reminded me of something I had forgotten.
Forgive me, mistress, but I must ask. The exile, I've never seen another affect you so strongly. Was she important to you once?
We all have our heroes, and when we watch them fall, we die inside. She made a choice once, and I did not. The day we judged her, I stood in the chamber, and she was so right. She was so certain of it. I doubted myself, but not now. She will never make me doubt myself again. But now I am tired. I must meditate.
Of course, mistress. I will tell the others you are not to be disturbed. And please, do not exhaust yourself. We can attend to matters here.
So yeah, she was kind of involved in our council, and that's the thing too, is like the character I'm playing, she wants to be good, she's traveling the light, she wants to do her best, but she went to war without regret. She did what she did, and while she hates what happened and what she ended up becoming, she would never undo it, which is a clear distinction. Alright, light side force points, and we got handmaiden. So now, I'm going to spend a little time here. We're going to do a little exploring. I'm going to go get my companions, but there's something else I'm going to be able to do too. There's kind of a fight club here that I'm going to try, and I'm probably going to not be able to do well in because, again, I'm a counselor. It means I suck with combat, but I'm going to see if I can pull things off. But yeah, let's see.
Why have you approached me?
I'm searching for my friends.
You will find them in the main irrigation channel room, in the northern part of the plateau interior. The particle emitters there that once governed the flow of water to Telos can double as force cages.
I plan to set them free.
You shall not be challenged. As I have said, you will find them in the irrigation room in the northern part of the complex.
Why did you imprison them? We meant no harm.
They were caged for their safety until we could determine your intent, exile. Atris cautioned us against your tactics, fearing that your allies would create a distraction. Your companions gave us little trouble, however. The male could have presented some challenge if he had resisted, but he chose not to.
Who, Atton?
He has had some Echani training. He masks it well, but when you are in danger, his mask dropped into a stance we know well.
Where would he have gotten that training?
I do not know. The Echani forms are known to be taught to military special forces throughout the galaxy. If the source is a mystery to you, perhaps you should ask him. It would be wise to know those you travel with.
I'll be going then. Alright, so, yeah, I'm going to wander around, I'm going to try some stuff, but essentially, we've kind of learned the majority of the stuff here. So yeah, like, really interesting, and then, what's interesting too, so she's a Jedi, she never fell or anything. She's hiding here on this place, and if you look back there in that room, it has, like, a bunch of chairs set up like a council chamber, very much like you see on the Coruscant in the movies. And then she has, these students, they're handmaidens, they're like guards, they're not force users. So it's really interesting. She's a Jedi who has an academy with a council, but she's here by herself and isn't training any other Jedi.
You are the exile, the one Atris warned us about.
Well, don't believe everything she says.
She said you betrayed the Jedi by going to war when it was forbidden to you. You turned on your masters, your teachings, and yourself.
So by the way, like I said, if you're a male, she becomes a companion. But because we're female, we're getting a different companion. But she is one of the more interesting characters you meet. She's pretty cheesy, but I thought her arc and her story and her background are really well done, in my opinion. I don't know much about the alternate companion because I never played a female path when I first played through the game several times. So I'll have a bit of a learning experience as we go through this as well. She's not exaggerating. I went to war to protect others, not to fight.
That is not all she says. She says you know nothing of loyalty to any cause except your own animal instincts.
That's me.
She told us why you fell to the dark side.
What? Dark side? I do not walk the path of the dark side.
Atris says that you fell to the dark side in the Mandalorian Wars when you gave in to your lust for battle. Once you tasted war, you could not give it up.
That doesn't explain why I stopped fighting after the Mandalorian Wars.
Atris says When the Dark Lord Revan returned to the Republic, you did not march with him because you had fallen so far you could no longer feel the Force.
That isn't true, but Atris is entitled to her opinion.
I believe that is the extent of her expressed feelings toward you. There are variations at times, but all rise from the same foundation.
Expressed feelings?
Yes, it is difficult sometimes for others to truly speak their heart or listen to it. The words often prove difficult, or they do not come at all.
What do you think Atris's heart says?
Without having seen you and Atris fight, I cannot say. Battle is a pure form of expression. It is heart and discipline, reduced to movement and motion.
So if I fought Atris, then maybe that might make the truth come out.
Perhaps. It may prove truer than conversing with words. In battle, the words are swept away, giving way to actions. Mercy, sacrifice, anger, fear. These are pure moments of expression.
I'd like to ask you something.
You may ask.
You look different than the other women here.
I honor the face of my mother. It is not something spoken of in the company of others.
Apologize, I meant no offense.
There's no need to apologize. You were merely remarking on something that you saw. There is no wrong in that.
Is it a sensitive subject?
It is not a sensitive subject, but a subject that requires trust. There is no such trust between you and I, and such trust takes time.
Let me ask something else.
You may ask.
Never mind, I'll be going now.
Before you go, Exile, question for you, if I may ask it. You have touched the Force. What does it feel like?
It's a difficult thing to describe.
Please, I wish to know.
It's like, oh, okay. And this is like interesting because it's like you can kind of like give your own interpretation of it. But I'm gonna say it's like a current that passes through you and carries you with all the places it touches.
I see. Thank you, Exile. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge with me.
It was a pleasure. Okay. Now, if I want to, I think I can pick a fight with them, but I think I have to be aggressive, so I might not end up doing that because it's not in my character's lore. You can get like a perk if you can actually get through all the combats, but I just don't think that's going to be within the cards for me. Hey, everybody.
Did you find what you came for?
That depends. What was I supposed to find?
There was something from your past here, something unresolved. I feel we did not come to this place by chance. You were led here. This woman who resides here, she did something to you once, something that hangs upon you still.
Notice how she does it? She called her Atris before, but in our presence, she refers to her as woman like she doesn't know her. The woman here is a Jedi, Atris, one of the Council.
There is a Jedi here, perhaps, in that you are correct. Yet there are no students, and this woman, this Atris, surrounds herself with those who cannot feel the Force. Curious.
Atris plans to heal the galaxy, then rebuild the Order.
Plans are fragile things, and life often dashes expectations to the ground. Perhaps students will come to her in time. For now, she is surrounded by those who cannot feel the Force.
Aren't the handmaiden students?
No, her servants are not Jedi. Their minds are walls, trained to resist tricks of the mind. This discipline blinds them to the Force as well, even if they were Force-sensitive.
How do you know that? Were you reading their minds?
Invade the mind of another. It is not something done carelessly, or when there is nothing to be gained.
Let's talk about it on the way out of here.
Very well. Let us depart.
Is that okay? It looks out cold.
He's only sleeping. It seems the journey here has fatigued him.
Alright, let me free you.
I am sorry, General. I must have lost consciousness in the crash.
Nothing to apologize for. Are you sure you're okay?
I'm fine, General. Even power has been restored to my arm. What is this place? Where are we?
Jedi Academy, concealed in the northern pole of Telos.
This must be where I had detected the energy readings before, and the drain to the restoration shields. This room, this place, it looks part of a huge polar irrigation system, possibly planet-wide, like the one on Coruscant. I had been told by the Republic that it was not in use.
Are you well enough to travel?
I am, General. If you wish, I may travel with you, or join you at the ship.
Come with me then, I could use your help.
Very well, General.
Choose 2 members to go with you, the other one will go to the Ebon Hawk. There it is! T3!
Well, if it isn't the one who stole the Ebon Hawk. Not so smug now, are you, you little thief?
It is unlikely the droid stole the vessel.
Says you.
Is this your droid? It looks badly damaged. Dissected.
Aww. T3, are you alright? It wasn't your fault they took the ship, T3. What information are you talking about? Your entire memory? That must have taken some time. You can fill me in later. Let's get you out there first. We'll see you at the Ebon Hawk. There he goes, our little boy. Influence gained. Yes. Excellent. This is the loading route to Ebon Hawk. Once aboard, he'll be leaving the Telos Polar Academy for good. Let's enter.
Well, now that we're off that Dejaric board of a planet, I say we burn sky until we see lines.
What's with T3? What are you talking about? You downloaded Atris's archives?
What is the machine saying?
There's a holo record of the day I was exiled. He did a reverse, like while they were dissecting him trying to get his information, he downloaded all their records too.
We seem to have found it.
This is cool. This is back on Coruscant. This is the Jedi, tower. All these faces, all these members. There's Atris.
Do you know why we have called you here?
He should be familiar. That's Rook, I believe. I came because I chose to, not because you summoned me.
As Revan summoned you, so have you come full circle to return to the Jedi.
Why did you defy us?
None of that mustache.
Are guardians of the peace, and have been for centuries. This call to war undermines all that we have worked for.
Is Revan your master now? Or is it the horror you wrought at Malachor that has caused you to see the truth at last?
I see. I realize that following Revan to war was a violation of the Jedi Code. Not Jedi. I don't think so. I think it's you were not at Malachor. You will never understand.
You refuse to hear us. You have shut us out, and so have shut yourself to the galaxy.
We feel that your true understanding of what happened at Malachor 5 will only happen in time, and it cannot happen here, near the battlegrounds where you fought.
You are exiled, and you are a Jedi no longer.
There is one last thing. Your lightsaber. Surrender it to us.
Stabbed it into the rock, thrust it through, and forced the handle into it, and then we leave. It's a good way to retire.
Much defiance in that one.
You were correct, Kavar. When she was here, I felt it. It was as if she was not there, more like an echo.
Revan's influence has grown amongst the youngest of the Order. He speaks to their passions, not their sense. The war has touched them. Many of them have found themselves in the war against the Mandalorians.
It is as I feared, and I fear that we have played into the hands of the enemy.
We have not lost a Jedi this day. You felt it. She has lost herself. She is no Jedi. She walked Revan's path, but she was not strong enough.
I fear it is our teachings that may have led Revan to choose the path he did.
We are not the ones who taught him.
We take responsibility, Atris, not cast blame.
The choice of one was the choice of us all. Revan's teacher intended no harm, and Revan had many teachers since.
Yet they all stem from the same source. Her teachings violated the Jedi Code and lead all who listen to the dark side, as they did the exile.
You are wrong. The dark side is not what I sensed in the exile. Surely the rest of you felt it as well. That emptiness we felt. She has changed.
Whatever that wound was, it was of the dark side. We should not have let her depart. She will simply join Revan again, or perhaps worse.
What would you have done with her, Atris? Be mindful of your feelings. This is not Revan who stood before you. This one walks a different path.
No, although that may come in time. We let her go because we must. Where she travels, she carries her destination with her.
Malachor 5 should have been her grave. You saw it in her walk, and in the Force. It was as if she was already dead.
No, not death. Many battles remain for that one, if what we have seen is true. But the future is a shifting thing, and she cuts like a blade through it.
We should have told her the truth. A Jedi deserved to know.
No good would have come from it, even if what you believed was true. There is still the matter of Revan, and such truths could leave us vulnerable on two fronts.
Perhaps in many years we will call her before us and explain what happened to her, and how she may be healed. Until then, she must accept her journey.
But she may never discover the truth, and she will never know why we cast her out.
And that is the future we must accept.
So yeah, lots of stuff going on. In fact, they seem to know how to heal us.
Jedi sure like their secrets, don't they?
So they knew what happened to me. They all do. Atris has a list of the missing Jedi. Sure, display it. Master Vuk Dantooine, Master Zekhail Il Narshada, Master Kavar Onderon, Master Vash Korriban, Master Atris Telos. Those are all the Jedi that were on the council that exiled me.
A strange coincidence.
It is no coincidence. There is some larger plan at work here, and we are walking into it. This is too convenient to be anything but a trap.
Be that as it may, we may need their help against the Sith.
General, is there a reason you don't carry a lightsaber anymore?
Atris and the Jedi Council took it from me.
That's not your lightsaber anymore. That belonged to someone who served Revan in the wars, not the person you are now. You could build another one, if you wanted to, but you know that.
And why wouldn't I?
I don't know, General, but whatever the reason, you should put it behind you. I know this. A lightsaber is part of who you are. Without it, you're not complete.
Very well. To begin, there's some parts I'll need.
I think I can help you out there. I happen to know the parts you need.
Alright then, what do we need?
We need a power cell, emitter matrix, lens and focusing crystal, though I have to admit the crystal is beyond my means. Never did understand them. Those parts are fairly common, though a Jedi once told me that it's best if your lightsaber reflects you, and if it is constructed of things that identify it as your own. Just bring the parts to me before you get started building it. I'll make sure they're usable.
Alright. Hey!
For the last time, no. Because you're programmed to force your opponent to go first, and nothing will convince me the computer doesn't cheat. Even if I didn't have to go first and somehow I didn't suspect you of counting cards, I still wouldn't play with a trash compactor.
I like how this game does interpersonal conversations a lot more.
Yeah? How many credits? Got a minute?
I'm a little busy here. What is it?
Won't take more than a minute.
All right, I'll work while you talk.
Look, your friend, the Jedi? You know her from way back, don't you? How much do you know about her, really?
Her? You mean the general? Yeah, during the war. If that's what you mean by way back. Can't say I know too much about her, though.
Better than anyone else on this ship. Just give me your opinion, okay? And don't laugh.
I'm trying to work here, Atton.
I was just wondering if you thought maybe she and I might...
You're being serious.
You said you wouldn't laugh.
You are being serious. Atton, she was a general. I was just a tech. Your guess is about as good as mine.
Well, what's your guess, then?
I'm getting back to work.
Hey! I'm being serious here.
That's cute. That's cute.
You're laughing at me? I'll put you on the scrap heap, you walking tin can.
He's a rolling tin can, and we love him.
All I'm saying is that you've gone for a long time without a memory wipe. Most droids behave erratically under those circumstances. I know that, but I'm fixing everything else around here, so I may as well take a look at you, too. What was that? That's what I'm talking about. That is not normal droid behavior.
Maybe he's just worried about your skill.
If it wasn't for me, we'd all be floating in space. I think I can handle a few repairs to your circuits.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Good. Now let's get started.
This is pretty cool, though.
You wouldn't guess it from the outside, but it looks like you've been through a lot. I'll bet. I'm all done with you. If anything comes loose, let me know and I'll put it back in place.
T3M4 has received a permanent +2 to his constitution, which is his health, which dictates his health. All right, so before we end, I'm going to run through the ship and I'm going to talk to everybody. I'm going to save, though, because we had a real rough loading screen a second ago. So I'm going to go have conversations with everybody, and then we're going to kind of set up, and next week I'll reveal the first planet we're going to stop at. But for now, I'm just going to go talk to everybody. Not yet. Soon. Soon Visas will be there, and it's going to be rough. It's been a long time since the war. I'm surprised you're still functioning. No.
Hey, General. Are you alright?
What are you talking about?
You look like you've been standing too close to one of my shield generators.
Oh, yeah. So if you go far enough on the light or dark side, your friends will notice and they comment on it. Like, for here, they say that there's like a glow about you, and if you're on the dark side, they say that like your skin's getting all wrinkly and your eyes have changed colors. They're like, are you okay? When one's in touch with the Force, it can manifest itself visibly.
Was there something you wanted me for?
Why did you pick up your remote anyway?
That old thing? I built him when I was a kid. Been following me around for years now, despite what I've done to try and chase him off.
Aww.
Hey, just kidding. I'm happy to have you around.
What does it do other than follow you around? Actually, no. Can you build me one?
I would, but then I wouldn't be the only one with a floating sphere following him around, and I kind of like that.
What does it do other than follow you around?
He helps me out with repairs. I outfitted him with a cutting laser and some other tools for delicate modifications. He's also good for singeing the pants of annoying techs.
I like bao-dur.
I've been thinking about doing some other work on him, but I barely have time. Too busy fixing up the ship. Something else I can help you with?
What's your opinion on the Telos situation?
If the Republic would just rein Czerka in, there'd be no problem. But as long as Czerka is allowed to undermine the Ithorians' efforts, Telos will remain dead. I can't take seeing my work being used by those bloodsuckers. But there's nothing I can do about it, so let's talk about something else. Something else I can help you with?
I see. Do I have all the lightsaber parts I need?
Let me see what you have. No, you're still missing an emitter matrix and lens. Something else I can...
Matrix and lens, okay. How'd you lose your arm anyway?
I got tired of it. Kept dropping my hydro spanner. Figured I'd get a new one.
Yeah, bet that was fun.
I was only kidding. Actually, it was a souvenir from Malachor. I was lucky it was all I lost. But at least it gave me something to do, right? Everyone always said I was probably half machine anyway. Something else I can help you with?
What are you doing?
Just working on the ship. I'm not sure who got her up and running, but I'm amazed she's even space-worthy. Whoever made these repairs doesn't think like most mechanics. But don't worry, I'll get everything in shape.
It was repaired by a bunch of mining droids. We are lucky this thing hasn't, like, just exploded. Hyperdrive room. I think I hear T3 up here. T3 is up there. Let's go catch up to him real quick. T3, come here. I do love how he just travels around. Do you know where the HK droid in the cargo bay came from? That didn't sound very convincing. Are you sure you don't know? Never mind, I have other questions. Let's see, how's the Ebon Hawk? Good job, glad to hear it. Another question. Actually, let's do another question. Let's try to repair him. Alright. Alright, just sit still, this won't take long. Yay! That should do it. You doing alright? You repaired +1 constitution. Sweet. Glazed look, what are you talking about? Let's see, anything else? Nope, I think we're good. Light side, influence gained. Sweet. HK. Repair the control cluster. Perfect. Still needs a couple more parts. Let's see, I think I should talk to Kreia, the Atton, and then I think we're about ready to go.
You have grown strong in the Force. I can feel its touch upon you. Do not let the higher mysteries blind you to others. Turning away from that which tempts you or causes you fear is not strength. Facing it is. I have seen you display many acts of mercy, charity in our journey. Why?
There's enough suffering in the galaxy. If I can alleviate it for one person, then I've made a difference.
Even if it weakens those you help, even if it robs them of the strength needed to grow, you have been chased, hounded since our first meeting, and it has only made you stronger, more capable.
So this is really interesting philosophy. This is actually one I'd really love to know if you're still here. And I'd like to know what you think about this. So she's saying, and she'll kind of embellish a bit more, but essentially she's pointing out that, like, look, if you help other people, if you enable them or give them shortcuts, you're essentially robbing them of the chance to struggle and grow. You are keeping them weak, keeping them where they were, pacifying them, keeping them from being able to, like, fight their way out of their situations. And there could be a like that's the thing, is, like, this isn't just like light dark side talk. She talks about like the downsides and upsides to things. Like, if you're on the dark side, she'll question your cruelty, and she'll talk about, like, if by being cruel, like, how is hurting others bringing about greater like events in the future. And she talks about how, like, crushing people's souls and crushing people's, like, hope leads to just darker paths and spreads wickedness. It's like, so she tries to kind of point out how, like, just like there's no such thing as just being pure good or pure evil, that there's consequences, and those consequences can often be unintended. Let's see. I fail to see how small acts of mercy can be harmful.
Ah, then you have learnt nothing. From such small things, from such critical points, the universe and its masses may be moved. That is why you must be careful in all that you do, and in every choice you make. Aiding them gives you strength by taking on their challenges, but weakens them. If that is your choice, then use their dependency, feed upon it, until you have exhausted them. Then leave them. And I would view the ones you travel with much the same way.
I did not turn on my allies like Jedi turned on their own during the wars.
So you may think, but it will be best to strike first. Your allies are allies by circumstance, and they will not hesitate to do the same to you if you continue down your path. Do you know why those we meet display such weakness? As I said, their lives are static, untested. It is only through interaction, through decision and choice, through confrontation, physical or mental, that the Force can grow within you. You have seen it. You have felt it within you as you have traveled with me. The growing anger, the rage, and the power it brings. Yet the power does not build without such struggle. Through small cruelties, greater ones are born.
I have other questions.
Ask, and I will answer.
Kreia, are you a Jedi or a Sith?
Does it matter? Of course it does. Such titles allow you to break the galaxy into light and dark, categorize it. Perhaps I am neither, and I hold both as what they are, pieces of a whole. Know that I am your teacher.
She's so good!
Enough.
To ally myself with someone without knowing their allegiance is unwise.
What do you wish to hear? That I once believed in the code of the Jedi? That I felt the call of the Sith? That perhaps once I held the galaxy by its throat? That for every good work that I did, I brought equal harm upon the galaxy? That perhaps what the greatest of the Sith Lords knew of evil they learned from me? What would it matter now? There is only so much comfort in knowing such things, and it is not who I am now.
I still wish to hear the story. Interesting. Normally you don't get this cutscene for a while, but we'll check back in after this.
There are dark places in the galaxy where few tread, ancient centers of learning, of knowledge, but I did not walk alone. To be united by hatred is a fragile alliance at best. But my will was not law. There were disagreements, ambition, and hunger for power. There are techniques within the Force against which there is no defense.
It's a lot, but you have to be careful because a lot of people don't end up even seeing that cutscene.
Learn from me, my mistakes, and use that knowledge to become greater than I. That is all I ask of you, and that is all I desire. In you all my hopes rest, for the future, for the Force.
I need more than that, Kreia.
If it means so much to you, then this I swear to you upon my life, upon our lives, that when your training is complete, I will answer everything. There shall be no more shadows between us, only truth that exists between master and apprentice.
I have other questions.
Ask, and I will answer.
What's wrong with your eyes?
There is nothing wrong with my sight, if that is your question. I see all that I need. Though the seeing of things flesh and blood has failed me some time ago, they were distractions only.
There might be a way to heal your sight.
There is nothing wrong with my eyes. They simply have atrophied from use. They are adequate to distinguish shapes, silhouettes. If need be, I could heal them, restore my sight. But sight can prove a distraction. When one relies on sight to perceive the world, it is like trying to stare at the galaxy through a crack in the door. But that is a lesson for another time. You must learn to see crude matter for what it is, before the veil is lifted.
Alright, other questions?
Ask.
Do you know Atris at all?
I know her as much as I know any Jedi. If you have other questions, you may ask those, but on Atris, I can provide you no answers that you cannot find on your own.
Maybe later. Let's see. Do you know anything about the Sith who pursue us?
Nothing more than we already know, and anything else I know would be useless. There is danger in such knowledge, even if I was certain of the ones who hunt you.
I think that's everything. For now. Oh, we lost influence with her. Darn it. Well, we'll work on it. It's tough. She's really tough to build the influence on. But I got a decent amount. And I think you have to get her up at the highest influence, you have to really metagame.
You know, I noticed a glow before, but now it's bright around you. You've come a long way since Paragus, and despite all we've been through, you seem a lot better for it.
It's hard to explain, but even with everything that's happening, I feel at peace.
It shows. It's kind of inspiring, to be honest. Anyway, just wanted to mention it. I think the others have noticed it too.
Alright, let's see. Let's play some Pazak.
Alright, but I'm out of credits, so it's Republic Senate rules.
Republic Senate rules?
That's where we waste a lot of time trading cards and trying to beat each other. But in the end, nobody wins. Everybody loses, and nobody accomplishes anything.
Sounds familiar.
It's like stalemate, except the goal is to pass time until the audience gets bored and leaves.
Let's play a practice match then.
I don't know what it is, but you look different.
Oh.
It's hard to explain.
I've gotten multiple changes.
It's good to see.
Yeah.
It shows. Alright.
Alright, so here we go. Now we got to quite stuff. Can I explain where you got your Achani training?
Huh? What are you talking about?
When we entered the Telos Academy, you dropped into an Achani combat stance.
Oh, that. Don't tell anyone, but you wouldn't believe how many fights you can prevent by just pretending to know that stuff. I mean, it doesn't compare to wearing a lightsaber, but then again, that doesn't seem to help you much.
Don't change the subject.
Yeah? So what? I don't ask any dumb questions about your past, despite the fact that it keeps throwing us into life-threatening situations. Wanna know why? I figure if you ever want to tell me something, you will. So give me the same respect, alright?
I'm not accusing you. I just want to know if you've got any other useful skills. That could be a really you could be a real asset with combat training.
Well, hey, thanks. But you've got the wrong guy. I'm good at shooting people, cracking wise, and pretending to know how to fight with my hands.
And I think that's enough for today. A lot of conversations we went down, kind of got to know everybody. We're now in space. We're going to be jumping away from the system, and we're going to be going on our adventure. So we have a few planets we're going to be exploring. We're going to be trying to track down some of these Jedi masters that like abandoned me or like kind of exiled me, and maybe we can get some answers from them, figure out what's going on, since they seem to know a lot more than they let on when I last saw them. But yeah, it's all going to be pretty exciting. I'm glad we're done with Telos. From here on out, it's going to be pretty fun. There's going to be some, trudging we still have to do, but all in all, it's going to be much more enjoyable an experience. So hope you're excited. Hope you're ready to join me and kind of like see how things go from here. Got a few pieces we need to get for the lightsaber, but we should be able to find those fairly quickly. I think you can get one from a merchant, and you find one on the first planet you land on for whatever reason. But yeah, after that, we should be able to construct a lightsaber. So that'll be pretty exciting. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you enjoyed this series. This definitely was a longer recording, but I don't know how much of it, like when it cuts down, like I don't really know until after I'm done editing, so obviously not when I'm recording, but I appreciate you being here. Thank you especially to the patrons and members who make it possible for me to make content like this. I hope it's enjoyable for you, and I hope you're excited for Starfield when we do get this finished, because my new computer should be done by then, should be all set and ready to go, and we'll be able to really take it by storm at that point. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Until next video watching me, I'm seeing me next. I'll see you there.